Segment on the Sit Down Malik Wright presented by First Star Logistics. We're live from the First Star Logistics studio. And on this segment, we'll be discussing the future of Karl Anthony Towns. Rumors are swirling that the Minnesota Timberwolves are ready to move on from their star big man. And I'm here with my co-host, as always, Evan McPhillips, and we're going to be discussing where we see Karl Anthony Towns landing. I'm going to start this off by simply saying this: the Dallas Mavericks are the best spot for Karl Anthony Towns. Now, when you talk about defense might be a non-factor in Dallas, but I think it makes sense for a lot of reasons. You get a scoring big man
Mhm.
that can help alleviate the pressure off of Luka Doncic. To me, I think that's a scary tandem between Karl Anthony Towns and Luka Doncic. I know people are going to point to the fact that defense would probably struggle, but that's all right. Guess what? That's okay. You get Luka Doncic and Karl Anthony Towns together, I think that offense could put up a lot of points, especially if you get a couple scorers around them as well. Sort of like how Nikola Jokic sort of has in Denver. I also think Bruce Brown will be a good fit for the Dallas Mavericks.
Mhm.
So you pair Bruce Brown over in Dallas. Would he be a starter there? I'm not sure. I think he could be because I don't think that there's anybody really challenging him for minutes. You still got Tim Hardaway Jr. on an awful contract, but you still have people that can help with this offense. You still have people that can help with this offense. I love the matchup between Cat and Luka Doncic for a lot of reasons. Evan, what are your thoughts?
Man, I look at the Portland Trailblazers and
Mm,
I say, get this man some help.
mm,
Maybe Portland can work out a deal
yeah.
where they say, all right, Minnesota, you have already soured on your big man, your big lineup that you've been going for here. I think Rudy would fit really well with the Mavericks for the defense that you were talking
Yes.
about. Don't know if they would move off him and Cat at the same time. Think Cat probably has a little more value in terms of what he offers the rest of
That's
the league
what's
too.
weird to me. You trade all these assets for Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert,
Just to try and trade Cat to get some
just
assets back.
it's
I
strange.
know. It's everybody was scratching their head when the trade happened for this exact reason, right? This is why it's important to be real with yourself when
Mhm.
building a team, whether NFL, NBA, MLB, you need to be real with yourself when it's time to cut your losses, when you've made a mistake. So, at least to their credit, they're trying to move in the right direction. That's not always easy to do. Sometimes people grit their teeth and say, no, we're going to keep the course and it's going to work. And a lot of times it doesn't. But, anyways, maybe they call the Timberwolves and say, hey, we'll give you Anthony Simons. Let him and Ant run that backcourt up there
Mm.
in Minnesota. And then Dame gets his guy to pair with. I still like Jeremy Grant. I still like Shaden Sharp. Still like Cam Reddish and Nazir Little coming off the bench. I mean, plus they have their pick coming up too. I mean, suddenly there's a lot more help for Dame when you look that way. And then Simons can go and actually kind of play point guard instead of playing that off guard combo
Mhm.
guard thing with Dame, right? And if that's not a team, then I like another team, the Atlanta Hawks, man.
Wow. Okay.
You like that?
Okay. I do like that.
I feel like they could use some juice, man. I
John
feel like they
Collins has
can.
been underwhelming.
It's John Collins and Clint Capella too, since he signed that contract, man. He's not been what they wanted.
Onyeka Okongwu is the future at the center position for the Atlanta Hawks.
Right. So if you've got that, if you've got Sadiq Bey, you feel good about. You've got some good other players in Deontay Murray, DeAndre Hunter. Like you've got some good pieces here where you can put an attractive package together for the Timberwolves and say, hey, let's get a guy with Trey Young who can just be the tower down there.
What about the New York Knicks?
Heard that floated around as well. How do you now? That's actually interesting because it's tough to play two bigs together, as we've
Mhm.
seen in Minnesota, but both of these bigs can shoot. And both of these bigs can kind of space the floor. Cat can do a little bit of handling more than you would expect from a big guy, but the turnovers they
Mhm.
fluctuate,
Yeah.
right? But he can do that. He can put it on the floor. He can kind of maneuver and pass the ball a little bit. I like the fit.
Yeah.
I like that too. I think that could be good. You've got a good defensive cord there too, where I feel like Thibs will keep you on top of things. He can help bring that floor for your defense
No.
up. I do think that's a good fit. I
Now, of
think
course, that
that's
would probably require Julius Randle being gone.
Probably does. So then you're left with
Jalen
Brunson,
RJ,
RJ Barrett.
Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah. We're starting to.
He's gotten better. He's
Right.
gotten better at the center position.
Right.
He has gotten better at the center position. He has been attacking the boards. And I feel like his ascension is sort of going to be like a Kevon Looney, where people just kind of write him off, and then he's going to just start becoming a gobbler on the boards. I could certainly see that happening. But speaking more to your point about those things, what do we think about? So it seems like the 76ers are trying everything in their power to stick, just see what stick, throw things at the wall to see what sticks. Maybe Cat ends up in Philly. Maybe Philly makes sense. You get rid of the Tobias. You're done with Tobias Harris experiment. Now you might be looking at me like I'm a little bit crazy here, but
let me throw a curveball at you.
Yeah.
James Harden leaves.
Yeah.
He goes back to Houston. Suddenly the Houston timeline's a little bit more accelerated than you might have thought. You got all those young pieces there that you can trade with.
Trade Jalen Green.
I mean, if you want to trade him or if you want to keep him, I mean, maybe you want to trade who's your guy, the foreign center whose name Alperen Sengun. That's right. Yeah. Look, you're still building with the Rockets. This is one of those things where this is more based on what happens out there. I don't think they should bring James Harden back. No, they seem intent on bringing James. I don't think so. That's literally just been nonstop rumor mill is, the Rockets want James Harden. The Rockets want James Harden. The Rockets want, it's just, I don't know why. I don't think it meshes with their timeline. But if they are really saying we're going to gut the roster and our picks, keep James Harden, Jalen Green, and then Cat or other insert free agent.
I'm thinking right now. I'm cooking something up in my head right now.
I've got one, but I want if you got one.
What about the Memphis Grizzlies?
Yeah.
What about the Memphis Grizzlies? I'm thinking about the Memphis Grizzlies. I'll just say I'm gonna write off a couple teams that I'm thinking about right now that make sense for Cat.
The Memphis Grizzlies.
I like the Miami Heat.
Okay.
I like
put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Man, outside of the teams that we named,
I'm telling you.
What do you got?
The Golden State Warriors are going to trade for Karl Anthony Towns.
I like that.
Obviously, this depends on what they do with their entire team. My understanding is I think they are going to keep Draymond Green. Draymond Green, Steve Kerr do have a good relationship. I think Jordan Poole's time might be nearing an end, but he's still got a ton of value. They've got a lot of young pieces. You trade Jordan Poole, you trade Gary Payton, you trade a couple first-round picks. What does that do for the Timberwolves? That gives them another, quote-unquote young star alongside Anthony Edwards. And what does it do for the Warriors? You go and you get a big man that can stretch the floor. What is your guys' thoughts?
I like it.
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns fits right into the Warrior system.
Yep. I hear that.
And he can get shaped up by Draymond Green.
I don't think Draymond stays, though. I don't think Draymond. So? I don't think Draymond stays. I don't think so. I think Draymond's going to go somewhere else.
I think going back to the antics, which they've obviously dealt with for a while, man, you get tired. Yeah. You get tired of dealing with that stuff over and over and over again. And then I think it kind of cultivated with the Jordan Poole stuff. And I think after that kind of left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
I don't think Cat and Draymond would mix well together.
Yep.
Probably not. I think Draymond would call Cat softer than baby. I really think he would. I think he'd call him out like first week of practice. Like, this is what you think you caught him and you're going to come up in here and play? Yeah. Like, get Kevon back over here. Like, I like it in theory.
He'd be coming in to replace Draymond too.
Dude, it's
I
think
you love what you see from Kevon Looney. Personally.
One day we'll need to kind of like look at these contract things and how like the new CBA is going to limit people, because it's going to get a lot harder to pay. Once you have two superstars, it's going to hamstring you a little bit. You're not going to be able to pay that third max contract player. You're going to have to pay another guy instead of $30 million or 35. You're going to be paying him 18, 20, 22. It's going to be a step down. It'll be, 2 stars and a B+ player. Unless you get a rookie who's on a great deal and turns out to be great. It's going to be tough. You're going to have to be a lot better with roster construction. But that'll be a deep dive for another day.
Oh yeah. But I like that, Daniel. I think that he fits the Warrior system and what they like to do a lot. And I think that'd be lethal, man. We talk about their championship window. I think that opens up their championship window even further, personally, or with Curry, Klay Thompson in that crop. Yeah, I think I like that a lot.
I'm not concerned about the personality either, honestly, because I think that's the perfect place for him to get in shape, because he'll be like, okay, he's around an actual superstar in Steph Curry. He's around a culture that's actually won championships. And basketball wise, it makes sense. It makes sense. Run and gun defense. Hopefully, I guess you want to keep a Gary Payton. I know Klay Thompson's good, but his contract's bad. Maybe he's on his way out in the next year or so. Karl Anthony Towns fits their system. I like it. I think it makes a lot of sense. So
I do too. I do. If you guys like more videos like this, make sure you guys give this video a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and turn on post notifications so you guys do not miss when we upload a video or go live.